Okay, so in today's video about JasmyCoin, at first we are going to do a short-term analysis and see what is happening in this area, and then we are going to go on some higher time frames and see what is happening in terms of overall scenario and what can we expect from JasmyCoin to happen in the next couple of months, because I think it's very important to consider different possibilities. So in case the one that we are considering is not going to happen, we are not really going to be shocked. So this might end up being a bit of a longer video, but bear with me. I think you are going to find today's video a bit useful. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you are having a great time with your family and loved ones, and let's just dive in and go on 15-minute time frame and see what is happening. So not a whole lot is going on in here, and as you can see in Jasmy, we have been just consolidating, and in Bitcoin, well, the situation is not really the same. We had recently a decent move on the downside, and I'm hoping that our move down is over, so we can say with quite a bit of confidence that this point in Jasmy is indeed going to be our final bottom. Do I see some bullish signs in here? The answer is surprisingly yes. I can tell you, if I just zoom on a bit more, okay, this can be, for example, to about this point, a wave 1, correction for wave 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up into wave 3, correction for 4. I think like an ABC zigzag, and then another move up into wave 5, and followed by that, this is probably going to be a correction structure down. I would say, yeah, maybe like an ABC. And then from here, I can identify another impulse on the upside. Now, this scenario is not really confirmed yet. What I want to see in this area, in order to be optimistic with a bit more confidence, is actually a move up in order to take this high. Because at that point, I'm going to say, you know what, in Jasmy, this move is going to continue a bit more. And in it, we are also going to take the highest high as well, and probably go quite a bit higher than that. And maybe on a higher degree, we are having a decent bullish setup, meaning this can be 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, sorry about that one, okay, which on a higher degree might be, and again, this is just based on possibilities, might be into a larger degree wave 3, and then correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. So if you want to say this scenario is going to be in play, you need to wait a bit more and see a move up in Jasmy in order to take the height of our B-leg in here, about $1.9. And this is the extent of short-term analysis that we are going to do in today's video. Now, let's go on some higher time frames and see what is going on, maybe on daily charts. Sorry about that. Okay, so what's the idea in Jasmy in the mid to long term, at least according to my primary case? I'm thinking we are having off of the lowest low 5 up into 1, correction for wave 2, very clear impulse on the upside into wave 3. This is a correction for 4 so far, I can tell you, to about this point, and then from here we might be on our way to have a very strong extension, meaning this can be a wave 1, this can be a correction for wave 2, and since it's kind of a deep move down, we can actually say with a decent amount of confidence that it's a correction for our wave 2, and then I'm hoping that we get a move up into wave 3, 4, 5 in order to complete the subwaves for this whole 5 wave up in the cycle, and then it's going to be time to have kind of a deep bear market. Now, when we get a move up in Jasmy, and in that move, we break this important area right in here between 4.6 to about 5.9 cents. At that point, I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, you know what, this is a very classic couple and handle structure, and just the bare minimum target for this pattern is going to be reaching to somewhere around the 10 cents area, but I think we can go a bit higher than that. So in terms of overall structures, for now, this is going to be my primary case. Now, question, what is going to be the invalidation point for this possibility? We talked about this subject so many times before. I think the invalidation point for this bullish scenario at least is going to be taking the lowest low down here about 1.5 cents. Now, my stop loss in my position is actually under this important area, which the lower band of it is about 1.5 cents. But let's just test that idea. Let's say, okay, we are going to maybe in the short term get a move down and take the lowest low down here. What are our options at that point? We can have two different scenarios. One scenario suggests, well, okay, this was actually like a complete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are going to start a bear market. But here's a question. What if this scenario is not really going to happen, and maybe this is 5 wave up, this is a correction structure down, and our move down may not be that deep, and from here we are going to get a move up after we take this low. Do we have some signs suggesting something like that might be in play? That's why I need you to pay attention to JasmyCoin's chart relative to BTC. Let's go on this chart and see what is happening. So there are a couple of very important differences between this chart and the one that we had relative to US dollar. Number one, in this move down in Jasmy, as you can see, we have already taken this low. But is it a bad sign? I'm gonna say not yet. Why is that? Because in terms of classic DA, meaning support and resistances, we are having an unbelievably important support area in here from weekly and daily time frame at the same time. And as long as we are staying above here, I can actually tell you in Jasmy, we are definitely good to go up. So this is the first difference. The second difference, pay attention to this move on the upside. This to me does seem kind of like an A, B, C in form of a zigzag structure. And second, as you can see, in this move up in JasmyCoin relative to BTC, we didn't actually take the highest high. So what does this mean in terms of overall structures in Jasmy? I'm gonna say probably in this chart, we completed a 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up into wave 3, a very classic and beautiful triangle structure into wave 4, and another move up into wave 5, and from this high, we are having a corrective movement on the downside, and this part of the price action is actually part of the midterm correction that we are having in Jasmy. Now, overall, according to this chart, we can actually consider an A, B, C in form of a zigzag, which the subwaves for it are going to be like this. 5 wave up into a correction for wave B, maybe ABC, maybe WXY, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave on the upside into our ceiling. Let's go on the live chart and see what is happening. So first things first, because in this move up in JasmyCoin, we didn't take this high, but we went extremely close to this high. I'm gonna say in this move down, we are probably not really going to have that much more downward price action, and this move is going to end soon. And sure, maybe in it we are going to have one more move down in order to reach to about the lower band of this region. And this is important, at that point you might see Jasmy taking that lowest low about 1.5 cents. But according to this chart, we shouldn't really be worried at all, because odds are this is a corrective movement, probably I would say into a larger degree B leg. And then what are we going to have? Well, probably another big move up into our C leg. And by the way, I forgot to tell you this, we are also having a very beautiful and classic cup and handle structure, and you can also argue that maybe this is going to be like a head and shoulder structure. This is also a valid argument, but none of these patterns are at the moment confirmed yet. We need to wait a bit more and see JasmyCoin relative to BTC getting a break of this unbelievably important resistance area. So what's the point that I'm trying to make in here? And let's have our final conclusion. In JasmyCoin, I was saying for so long as we're not taking the lowest low about 1.5 cents, we can remain bullish. And if we take it, at that point, we are going to say maybe we completed a 5 wave down and we are going to enter a very strong bear market. Now, I would like to change my mind a bit, but I still kind of stand by what I said, meaning we can have a move down in Jasmy, and in that move, we take this low. However, at that point, I do not want to see us getting a break of this unbelievably important support area. And I'm hoping that after we take this low, and a lot of people are actually going to be absolutely bearish at that point in Jasmy, we get a very strong move up and basically liquidate a lot of short position that most traders are having in here. Now, in terms of Elios waves, based on what we saw in Jasmy BTC's chart, I'm gonna say at that point, we may also have in here either an ABC zigzag, the same that we had also in that chart, or maybe we're gonna have still a 1, 2, 3 to about this high, but maybe from this high, a correction structure started, and the end of it is going to be right in here into our wave 4, and the next move on the upside is going to be into our wave 5. Bottom line, I think in Jasmy, we are actually looking in the mid to long term very, very bullish. And in case that we get a move down and take this low about 1.5 cents, I'm not really going to be mad about it at all. What is going to be not necessarily an optimistic sign is actually getting a break of this important level. And by the way, since this is from weekly and daily time frame at the same time, if we get, for example, in H4 or maybe even H1 time frame, a move down 100, you shouldn't really consider this region broken, okay? You need to see a weekly candle close under this area and then pull back and a continuation of the move down. And for example, I do not really believe that it is unrealistic to think maybe we're going to have a very strong shadow under this region on daily time frame in order to fool a lot of people into believing that this is broken and then have a very strong bounce back. I think this can definitely be in the cards, but again, at that point, I need you to remember the structures are still going to remain 1000% bullish. And I do think in this cycle, when we get an alt season, JasmyCoin is definitely going to participate, and in it, hopefully we are going to complete this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up, or maybe an ABC structure, and have at least from the current point, I would say between a 6 to 10, 12x move on the upside. So I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in JasmyCoin's price chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.